Okay, guys, today we're going to talk about lease renewals. A lot of property managers don't put a lot of thought and effort into renewing. If somebody wants to renew, then they just wander into the office or send a casual email saying, I'd like to renew my lease. But we know that great cash flow comes from long tenant stay. So getting those 2-year leases signed and then getting another 2 years after that gets those people back in there. Once you've been living in a house for a little while, you tend to stay longer. So if you're only seeing 1-year leases with your current property manager, maybe you should talk to them about proactively going after lease renewals. Now, why would some people not celebrate lease renewals? A lot of times they're overcharging for painting the house or whatever has to happen to get it ready for the next renter, and it's very profitable for them. It's not the case here. So it's in our best interest to renew these leases if the resident's taking care of the property, paying their rent, not causing us undue anxiety. All right, so here's the timeline of what it would look like. So 90 days out from the lease coming up for renewal, we're going to send them two options. The first option, as high as a 30% increase. So that $1,000 rental here in Cordova is now $1,300. 2 years ago, maybe it was $1,000. It's way up there. And then the second option is a 2-year with a discounted rate. And of course, that'll open a conversation many times. And they might say, look, I'm on a fixed income. I really don't want to move, and we can work something out. But we start out, let's throw out two options. But it doesn't matter until we have our mandatory periodic inspection. So if you haven't met Darren yet, he's an amazing team member who came on board about a year ago, and Darren has completely opened my eyes to how many great residents we have out there that are just taking care of their house. Yes, it's a humble home, but they're taking care of it. They're paying their rent. They're keeping the house clean. They don't have a dog that's not on the lease and all those things. So they have to have a mandatory periodic inspection. Number one, liability. So I recently had a client who transferred 13 properties over for me to manage. And I was always honored, and I always am honored anytime someone trusts me to manage the properties. But when we got out there, we realized that one of the houses had a pool in the backyard that has never been touched. So it's not only a health issue, it's a hazard issue. What if a kid got back there and fell in that pool? So you can't have properties under your management and be doing a good job for your owners and the liability allowed unless you're getting in these houses. So mandatory periodic inspection must happen before I will renew the lease. Yeah, we've already sent them a renewal offer contingent upon the mandatory periodic inspection. And then once they've chosen which option they want to go with, and we've done the home inspection, we do a history check. Are they paying on time? Are they creating frivolous maintenance requests? Are they tearing the house up? All the things that we want to know just by looking at their history with Foundation Property Management. Are they the best suited for your property, or are they going to limit your cash flow moving forward? That's what it's all about. All right. So we've sent out the lease renewal offer. They've chosen one of two options. We've done the mandatory periodic inspection. They've passed the checklist on the history check. And now an email is sent out to you, the owner. And here's what you're going to see. So we recently conducted a thorough inspection of your property. This is when you would get the mandatory periodic inspection, and talks about lease renewal, pest control if needed while we're out there, making sure that the house has a fire extinguisher, a CO detector, proper amount of smoke detectors. I had a question asked by an owner last week that said, James, why are you charging me to put a fire extinguisher in? That house had a fire extinguisher, but it wasn't there when we went out. So, the minor cost of a fire extinguisher to make sure that we have done our due diligence, and God forbid if somebody were to get hurt or something, we have covered ourselves, and our insurance company would be quite proud of that. And then at the bottom of this email, you even got the click here button where you can watch a video about me talking about this process. So to recap, 90 days out from lease renewal, emails automatically generated, given two options, 1 year, 2 year, but they must have performed a mandatory periodic inspection and passed our checklist on their history with Foundation Property Management before we renew the lease. And when that happens, we email you saying, congratulations, your property has been renewed. And we do ring that bell behind me. You can't see the bell. Let me tilt that up. because we celebrate renewals. Whereas most property managers that I've had work for me, that I know, they don't put this much thought into it. So this is one of the reasons that we find alignment with our owners, is one of the many ways to ensure a cash flowing hands-off investment for you guys around the world. If you have questions, reach out to me. If you have properties I don't manage in Memphis, Tennessee, I want to be your manager for all of your properties. Maybe you've got 2 or 3 with me and 2 or 3 with somebody else. Consolidate them, and we will do a great job for you. Thank you so much, and have a great day.